This episode's brought to you by Aura Frames and Shady Rays, but we'll tell you about that later.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Kinda Funny Gamescast for Thursday, November 13th, 2025. I'm one of your hosts, Greg Miller, alongside Christmas in November, Joey Noel.
It's me.
Getting so close to real Christmas.
We're getting very close.
And of course, making a rare Gamescast desk appearance is the boss baby, Barrett Courtney.
I feel like I've been on this show. Well, God, Jesus Christ.
You've been on more than Tim this week.
I've been on the show, I think, more in the last month than ever.
We need you. You know what I mean? That's the people, the kids, the children, they yearn for more Barrett.
Yeah.
How are you,
They
babe?
I'm doing well. I had a little bit of a funky morning. I think it's the weather, the rain.
Funky,
Tough.
like emotional?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, trying to get back into it, drink some coffee,
That's what you got to do.
hanging out with you two. Hopefully it
It'll
will
be great.
bring up my day.
It should.
Barrett and I never do content together.
I know.
That's the true rare thing
I
happening
think the
today.
rarest pairing for
Yeah.
sure.
Well, I'm excited because it's going to be a fun one. Of course, the trend, as you know, has been 10 games to know me, know us. And we have gone through and done a whole bunch of Kinda Funny folks, and you enjoy it so much that today we're going to do Joey, Barrett, and Cool Greg to find out what are the 10 games to know them. But before then, remember that this is the Kinda Funny Gamescast. Each and every weekday, we run you through the biggest topics in video games, whether they be reviews, previews, or just things we need to talk about. We cover them here on youtube.com/kindafunnygames, twitch.tv/kindafunnygames, and of course, podcast services around the globe. If you like that, we'd like you to pick up a Kinda Funny membership, patreon.com/kindafunny, where I be quipping.
Ooh.
Oh, he
Quipping
quipping.
over
Tell us about
Quipping
quipping.
real
Patreon's
good.
making their own Twitter inside of the Patreon app, and it's called Quips, and I'm on it. I'm quipping for us. I took put up a photo of Blessing yesterday, quipping.
Yeah.
While I was quipping, I
In the
quipped-
middle
showed
of our
us
I was
meeting.
telling him, I was telling Bless about Quip, so I quipped him on the Quip.
Yep.
Eventually on the Patreon.com, I guess, but right now it's the app. Of course, Patreon.com/kindafunny, YouTube.com/kindafunnygames, Apple and Spotify. You can pick up your membership. Get all of our shows ad-free. That's more than $80 a month. Get your daily dose of me, Greg Miller, in a 15 to 20-minute podcast called Greg Way. That's also a video that I record all by my lonesome and answer your questions. And of course, you'd get good karma for supporting an 11-person small business all about live talk shows. Of course, if you want to be part of this, and I need you to be part of this, you need to be super chatting. YouTube.com/kindafunnygames. I need you to predict Joey's list, Barrett's list, Cool Greg's list. What are the 10 games that define them? And of course, I stole it from I want you to percolate on this one, because I stole it from the Reddit. But someone over there said, what are the 10 games that define Kinda Funny? And we will be doing
will
that
do
as
that.
a Gamescast in the future, probably when it gets a little bit slower around here. But I want to do
Is that one where we build the list live?
I think so. Yeah. I think we all come together and argue what
like that.
version of Nidhogg needs to go. Because what Nidhogg's got, Nidhogg 2's got to be on.
It's got to be Nidhogg 2, even though I prefer 1. Yeah.
You're a man of taste.
I like
that.
the simple art style.
do
Like
too,
I
man.
get being gross and weird and stuff, but
Yeah.
that like pixelated art style, I think kicks ass.
Really good.
Yeah, I agree with that too.
Also,
Mario
all the
Party.
different weapons.
That's interesting. Lightning reacts. Ooh.
That's
Save it. Save it, everybody. We'll get there eventually. Housekeeping for you. Remember, we're all about live talk shows. You already got Kinda Funny Games Daily today, covering PlayStation's Horizon MMO RPG. It won't be coming to PlayStation 5, though. Don't worry about that.
Wait, what?
What's going on? Mobile and PC.
Huh.
All right. I missed that part.
After this, of course, it's going to be Edgar Wright in review, The Running Man. Then Mike and myself are doing a sponsored Arc Knights Enfield stream. If you're a Kinda Funny member, today's Greg Way is 25 minutes covering the Steam machine as a console gamer gateway, the future, or lack thereof, of dedicated handhelds, and more. Do I give away a Steam Deck in it? I do. Whoa. Thank you to our Patreon producers, Carl Jacobs, Omega Buster, and Delaney the Psalm Twining. For now, let's begin the show with what is and forever will be topic of the show. As I said, even more, 10 games to know us. If you missed this, it is a social media trend out there in the cyberverse where people put up a photo of themselves. I'm just going to keep staring at Barrett with 10 games on them that define them. What are 10 games to know you? What does that mean? We have all had our own definitions about that. And today we've come to figure out for Joey, Barrett, and Cool Greg what those games are. Joanna,
Oh, I'm getting
Noel.
full government name today. This is a serious topic.
I almost. Oh, it's funny because I almost went Joseph.
Oh.
No, that's not. Joey isn't short for Joseph. Joanna.
They're my entire college friend group. When I'm in trouble or whatever, and they full name me, it's always Joseph.
Really?
Oh, okay.
And then mom's Boanna.
Oh, when I'm bad.
Yeah.
Doesn't happen very often these days, I guess. Maybe when I get more tattoos, she gets mad.
Joanna.
Yes.
For you, how do you define 10 games to know me?
I took this list as over the course of my lifetime, games that changed my view on video games or changed my taste significantly.
Okay.
Or even if we're going younger ones, I think a lot of it has changed my initial conception of what video games are. Because I feel like growing up as a girl with video games, especially in the time period that we did, it was very much branded for a very long time as a boy
It's a
thing.
boy's hobby, yeah.
So finding those nuggets in games that I'm oh, this can be for me too. And whether it's finding out different types of games that I like just based on exposure or the different ways that you can connect in games.
Okay.
So it is I will give you that it is a list of decades worth.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
love that. I
Yeah.
love that.
It's
That's how
not-
it I think it should be, but it's
Yeah.
whatever you want it to be. Barrett, how did you define it when you tackled your list?
Very similarly, I would say I looked at my list as defining moments in time, right? Of similar to Joey of oh, this changed my perception of what video games can be. This is important to me because it changed the trajectory of how I view
Sure.
a piece of art or
Sure.
storytelling and all that. Because what really brought me into video games was what it can do differently as a storytelling medium.
Yeah.
So I thought a lot about that as well. So not necessarily 10 favorite games of all time, but
course.
definitely those moments of oh, this is either bringing me back into video games or this is opening me up to a new genre that maybe people know me for loving now and stuff like that. So that's how I tackled it.
Okay.
Mhm.
So let's crack the nut that is Joey Noel.
I feel there's a lot of easy gets.
I got
right?
4
But
locks.
it's that's my thing. But I also worry. I don't worry. There's the enumerations. Which version of this are we picking? Right? Because for predictions for me, it's gonna go obviously Animal Crossing.
Yeah.
New Horizons.
And it's got to be right because
think so.
I'll tell you as the world's greatest detective.
People that have two of the people who probably understand my Animal Crossing journey
Yes.
significantly and were there for so much.
The only thing, I remember New Horizons. I remember begging Nintendo for 2 codes so Joey and I could tackle it. We did, and we had so much fun. And I want to say, and I don't tell me yet, but I want to say that was I forget what your history with Animal Crossing had been, but I don't feel like you had a deep one, unless I'm wrong about that. But what throws me is she has a coaster now for the DS Animal Crossing. And I'm shit, did I get it wrong? And was it? But I want to say that.
Because stick with me here because this will also be a second guess. Is I feel like the big turning point in these type of games for Joey was Stardew Valley.
Yeah, exactly.
I think
exactly.
that's a second lock right there.
Yeah, I agree. That's on the short list as well.
But yeah, maybe I'm misremembering as well in terms of
I think it's got to be New
what other
Horizons.
pasts.
It's got to be New Horizons. Joey drinking her water. I think that's locked. Then you go again, and she did a great job of setting it up here of games that have changed for her. We got to toss Destiny on this list, but is it Destiny 2? And I think it is. I think it's Destiny 2.
I feel like that's for a lot of people. The sickos stuck with Destiny 1, but Destiny 2 took over a lot of people's lives. And I remember
she was a sicko.
Yeah, and that was even for myself. I remember jumping in and I remember Joey being there kind of early on, and Andrea and you and all that stuff. So I feel like Destiny 2 was really kind of a big moment for a lot of people who hadn't really been a part of that kind of game before.
Mm-hmm.
Then you have a 4th lock. What's your 4th lock?
Well, that wasn't even one of my, so my 2 locks so far that we've talked of the 4 are Stardew and Animal Crossing.
Yeah.
So my 3rd one in a similar vein would be Fortnite. Of the social kind of aspect of hanging around, doing missions, and enjoying a battle royale. But
Joey was obsessed
the
with
evolution of Fortnite, especially in the work from home era, it was her and Kevin almost every
all the
night
time.
on Fortnite.
Yeah,
so I would say That's got to be on there.
Okay.
And then if we're thinking about decades, the history of one Joey Noelle, the one that I know that she was excited for this sequel for a very long time.
Fuck Pokemon
Snap.
That's a great one, Barrett. That's a great one.
Outside of that, that's where I start to get lost a little bit.
I gotta pull up my list to figure out what you guys haven't guessed.
Animal Crossing New Horizons, Stardew Valley, Destiny 2, Fortnite, Pokemon Snap. Those are 5 games we've got pulled right there. That's a great one, Barrett. That's a great one. The one I would float that I'm not confident in and I think is too recent would be Diablo. And I'm not actually putting that on the list, but I know Joey loved Diablo. But again, I think she loved Diablo 4. I don't remember if she was ever into Diablo 3. I think, again, this was a new shade of Joey that had come from the Destiny, come from the multiplayer, come probably from the Fortnite.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then, you go back, we got to go way back, right? And so it is that she's talking about decades. And so what was... Is Pokemon Snap the breakout game for Joey where it isn't just for boys? That she's able to let her gamer flag fly?
Okay. Yeah. I don't know.
Everybody's talking about Sims.
Yeah, I was just about to say Sims, but I don't know, I know, her and Mike will talk about Sims every once in a while. And just talk about the idea of falling really back into Sims. Falling down the rabbit hole.
Yeah.
I could see Sims. What's the most recent one?
This
3,
is so
4,
fun.
4.
Right? Yeah.
What's the one everybody still plays? Is it 4?
It's
4? Yeah.
Okay. I could see Sims 4 being because that's the one with all the packs.
So many packs.
So many DLCs.
Now here's one I'll toss out there. We're talking about decades. Joey learning about herself, exploring being a gamer. I don't think. I mean, if you needed to know Joey, you need to know she hates Mario Party. Do you put it on there? Just be like, I hate this fucking game. I've almost quit the company over being forced to play this game. Just floating it out there that it would be.
I like that floater. That's a good floater. Another one to float around. Someone else said it in the chat. Overcooked. Was it you and Alyssa that were really into trying to beat all the Overcooked levels for a while?
Restart everything.
Yeah.
Not a bad one.
Yeah.
Okay.
There was also that time. There was that infamous stream.
Andrea.
Yeah.
It's really a miracle that Andrea and I are as good of friends now as we are after that. That is really overcoming something in friendships.
You screwed her on that one.
I did.
Yeah.
Unintentionally.
All right. So right now the list that we get less confident as we go again.
Yeah.
Animal Crossing New Horizon, Stardew Valley, Destiny 2, Fortnite, Pokemon Snap, then Sims 4, Overcooked, Diablo, Mario Party, Power Wash Simulator.
Oh, Power
And I don't. That is not a real throw. But again, you could see.
I see the
She's been
threads
playing a lot
for
of
all
those type of
these.
sim games.
And that's when I said I see a lot of Sims in the chat. I meant people were tossing out Power Wash Simulator or some other simulator. I know Joey is our simulator person. What you just did? What was the cinema simulator?
Yeah, that was really fun. I have 4 screens. We got a lot of movies.
Nice.
I have to kick people out for being on their phones.
Did you? That sounds like fun.
It's real fun. It's really stressful.
Did you ever play a game dev sim back in the day?
No, but the chat while I was playing cinema
All those
said
games,
that
all their sims were
I
so
should
good.
play that one.
Game dev was so good. Would I like the cinema simulator? Can I play it with the controller or do I got to play it with the mouse keyboard?
I don't know. I pretty much play all sim games with mouse and keyboards. I don't know.
That's good.
If you enjoy telling people off in the movie theater when they're on their phone,
You know I did.
Oh no,
Yeah.
you don't tell them off. You just slap them.
Good.
The more fun option.
Is there a little fucking baby named Nick Scarpino who doesn't have your back? You know what I mean? You always want
Not
to talk about,
specifically.
well, your friends have your back. Well, there you go. Nick doesn't. You know what I mean? Now he's all tough. Take off your shoe, you old man. All right. I think we have enough to dive in because you know that there's going to be ones we've never heard you talk about, but here's this
once
SNES
really
game.
hard pulls.
Yeah. Lion King, Aladdin. I don't know.
No, there were some of those. I feel like I compiled a list because at first when Tim asked me to do this, I was like, do I have 10 games? Because there are a lot of games that I play and I like, but I feel like I dabble so much more casually than everybody else.
Yeah.
And then I started making the list. I was like, oh, I have way more than 10 games, and then had to start cutting.
Love that.
So let's start with what was number 1 on your list?
Animal Crossing New Horizons.
Animal Crossing. Nailed it. Of course it is.
Well, let's throw up the. Do we have an image yet? Here we go.
I made a fun video.
Oh my god! Where you have video?
So I had asked everybody. I was like, "How did you guys make these?" And because I have no Photoshop skills. And so then I was like, oh, I can probably use Canva for this.
Nice.
And so I did that. And then I sent it to my friend Lauren, who works at Canva. She's like, you could, and it was just like a white background. And she's like, you can make it more fun. So I added the fun sparkles and then the background.
Nice.
So
okay, we did pretty good here.
You guys did really good. You nailed like half of these.
Yeah.
And I feel like the half that you didn't get are tough pulls.
I thought about Neopets yesterday because I was like trying to think of your list because like that is such a like everybody like played Neopets like around that time. Like that was even one that for Alyssa who didn't play games
totally.
back then, like that was everybody was on Neopets.
Damn, you did like Diablo 3.
Yeah.
Viva Pinata, how could I forget?
Viva Pinata.
You ask about it all the time.
Yeah.
Every time there's an
I
Xbox
feel
event, I'm
stupid.
always like, when are we getting more
I feel
Viva Pinata?
very, very dumb about not getting Viva Pinata.
It's fine.
All right, so Joey, for the listeners who are driving their UPS
listeners.
trucks right now, run us through your just 1 to 10 right now.
Yeah.
No ranked order.
No
obviously.
order.
And then we'll double back and talk about why.
Yes. So we've got Where in Time is Carmen Sandiego,
Great.
Pokemon Snap, Destiny 2, Viva Pinata, Dance Dance Revolution. I picked Extreme 2. It could be a toss-up between a few different DDRs.
Okay.
Fortnite, Neopets, Animal Crossing, Diablo 3, and Stardew Valley.
Great list.
That's the list I came up with. I feel like the first one on this list was Where in Time is Carmen Sandiego. That's a point-and-click adventure PC, like old school game. I feel like I don't even really know how I got it, why I got it. Like I wasn't a big Carmen Sandiego fan necessarily.
So did
before
you
this.
get this, or was this like on the family computer?
This was on the family computer, but it must have just been for me because it wasn't my parents. Like,
Gotcha.
if my dad's on the PC, he was playing Quake or something like that, and my mom is like not a gamer by any means.
Sure.
So like, it must have been a present.
Okay.
Or
Okay.
maybe we were
Okay.
walking. My dad and I used to love walking around CompUSA, just looking
Oh
at
yeah.
stuff.
Oh god, yeah.
And I feel like I probably would have been very easily able to get him to buy me this. But I feel like not that many people talk about Where in Time is Carmen Sandiego. I feel like people talk about
Where
the
in the
location-based one. But this
Yeah,
one was
like
so
Where
fun.
in the World is the one I think
Yeah,
of.
and this is like you're going to different like history things and trying to solve all these things to figure out where she is and stuff like that. And this was one that I played over and over.
Did
and
you
over
did
again.
it? So you say you don't really know where it showed up. It was just there, or
Yeah.
whatever.
It was like this in Kid Pics. That
Did
was
it-
the other one. But I was
Did
like,
it click right away, or did you have to? Was it like you had to get into it a few tries and like okay?
I feel like it took me a few tries. It's such a funny time to think about in hindsight because it's like it's not like there were guides or
Yeah.
like not at least that I knew of particularly. So it was a lot of just like trial and error for a lot of these like puzzles and stuff like that. Because that was like kind of my only option.
Yeah, of course. Back in the day,
Yeah.
Yep.
you got the game. That's what you got.
Yeah.
It's your
Exactly.
game now. You got to figure it out. It sucked. Too bad. Make your own game out of it.
Exactly. There's still like a Powerpuff Girl like Game Boy Color game that I was like, I don't know if I ever beat the like second level. Like
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
it just kept beating the first one.
Fair enough.
But yeah, and then that I think led me to like the TV show and stuff like that. Now I love Carmen Sandiego.
Of course, who doesn't?
I
Yeah.
played the game that came out.
Did you
last
play the most
year.
recent one?
Oh.
I played like probably like a couple hours of it.
I got a
and it's
code, but I
pretty
never.
fun.
Yeah, yeah.
Is it the
okay.
same type of vibe or is it?
Yeah, it's
okay.
definitely like point and click adventure
Oh, okay.
kind of stuff. I feel like Ben is probably not that far off of that.
Okay, I like that.
Like
one.
it's definitely a kid's game.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Okay.
that's the first one.
I like that.
Pokemon Snap is a funny one, particularly because like I don't really have any other history with Pokemon other than Snap. Like I've never really been into the TV show. Like I've seen like random episodes and stuff. Like my best friends growing up had a binder full of cards and like they were really into that. But this just came with the N64 that I got for my birthday one year. And I was just like, and it's very much the thing of like, comes with the game, you're playing the game.
Is this, my Pokemon Snap knowledge was always that Michael Bryan's brother, who was smaller than us, we were in high school. He was in, third grade or whatever. He had it. We'd have to take it out of the N64 to get to the wrestling games or whatever.
Yeah.
Is Pokemon Snap the one that came with the blue and the Pikachu N64? And is that the one you got?
Mhm.
Okay.
So yeah, so this was in 1990. It came out in March 99, which means that I got it that year for Christmas or my birthday.
Got it.
So I was like 10 or 11 at that point.
You just love taking pictures.
I just and I like the Pokemon were so cute, and you
Yeah.
had to do all the things with the apple and the flute.
Yeah.
And like it was a very fun mechanic, and it didn't require like a lot of hard gameplay because at that point I didn't really have like controller skills and like would pick it up occasionally with like Mario Party or Mario Kart. But that was like at my house. I had Pokemon Snap and I had Tony Hawk Pro Skater. That was it. If we went to my best friend Brittany's house, she had
Everything.
64. She had Mario Party. She had Mario Kart. She had all the like party games for the most part.
Talk to me. I know we demanded forever, and then it finally came. Did we ever get a review from you for Pokemon Snap on Switch? Like, what
Yep.
what was the vibe on that one? I don't remember what your temperature was.
It's fun.
Yeah.
Like it's more Pokemon Snap. I think that like with the evolution of games, the like on rails kind of thing
Sure.
kind of holds you back. And like they do let you deviate and make more choices and stuff like that. I had fun. I never like 100%
Yeah,
it
yeah.
and stuff like that, but I did play through to the end. For me, it's always just about like which Pokemon do I think are the cutest?
Yeah, and taking pictures of them. And there's something like, not quaint, but there's something nice about like the on rails thing that gives you kind of that like theme park kind of
Yes,
feeling for it
100%.
as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was something that like I never played Snap growing up, but whenever we pull up footage for it, I was like, oh, this is like going to a nice little Pokemon theme park.
Yeah.
And
And
now
they're-
we can with not even animatronics, but
Yeah.
weird little statues.
Just little
Yeah.
statues. It'll be fine. You'll have a great time. Don't worry about
There's something about it too where it's like, cool, I am constrained controls wise to this like one track, which means like I have to be able to do the thing that I want to do.
Yeah.
And it's just then figuring out how do I do it. So there's that.
it. Okay.
You guys nailed it with Destiny 2.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
This
Were
was
you a Destiny 1 person?
no,
Okay.
I had never played Destiny 1 at all. And I don't remember exactly what it was. I think it was at the time, like my like core group of girlfriends, most of them met playing Destiny 2. And then Lauren and I kind of came into that group, and like Lauren had never played with them, but she had played a lot. So I was like the only one that hadn't played.
Got it.
This was after I had like solidly spent a lot of time in Fortnite. So I felt way more confident about my shooter skills. And I was like, I can get into this. And then it was the hooks that got me in. I really give a lot of credit to the Kind of Funny Destiny community in its many different forms for being so welcoming. And I feel like Destiny in general, like they want more people to play. They understand how overly complicated the game is and how not friendly it is for new people to come in. And so they're really, really helpful, at least in my case, of like, okay, here are the things, we can shepherd you through these raids and stuff like that. And I feel like this was the first time I ever played a game, I feel like, where I had like a bigger group of people that I could like ping at any point and jump in with and stuff like that. And it was one of those things where I was like playing very similarly to Fortnite like every single day. It was like, I do want, and the store and the shaders and all these things, like all of the cosmetics, and learning how to play games in a class and using abilities was like not anything I had really ever done other than Diablo, but I feel like it's a little bit different
Gameplay wise.
in Destiny when you're kind of way more reliant on the rest of your party and figuring out those mechanics and stuff like that. Viva Pinata is definitely where the sim game bug started. I think too, like I didn't have an Xbox, so this was one that like one of the guys that I was friends with in college like had in a box among like other things, and like we would go over and like my like college roommate Brooke and I would go, and they'd be like, we need 2 more people to play and it would be like Halo or something, and it'd be like, okay, I guess we're gonna play because that's what they're doing. And then we'd be like staring at the wall, and they'd be like, where are you? We're like, we have no idea.
We don't know.
So they very quickly learned like, okay, maybe Halo's not the thing. And then I was like, what's this? This is colorful. This looks fun. Look at these cute little characters. And then that was just the bug where I'd come over and be like, what are you guys doing? They're like, oh, we're like working on this Predator study. I'm like, okay, well, I'm just
gonna
gonna
go
be
play
over here. Don't
Viva
worry
Pinata.
about me.
Let's breed some worms.
Yeah. I was like, they're so cute. All the little noises are so fun. So I feel like that was the starting point for really being into sim games, which obviously evolves as we get through here. Also, why have we not gotten another Viva Pinata? It's been so
It's
long.
crazy.
It
It
does feel wild.
You
but-
think with everything else they've brought back and done, I mean, I know we had Viva Pinata 2, but you'd think there'd be a modern Viva Pinata they would have done something for.
Rare's just busy, you know.
I definitely don't think it'd be Rare making it. You know what I mean?
It can only be them.
Oh shit.
Yeah. But they're busy with.
That was part of the contract when they
Yeah.
got bought by Microsoft. Like, we can,
Yeah.
you can have us, but only us ever. We only touch Viva Pinata.
Yes. Dance Dance Revolution. Let's talk about the PlayStation 2.
Let's do it.
I got a PlayStation 2. To this day, I don't know how or why. I was not like asking for it. I think it was just that my dad wanted one and he
wanted a
used me as
DVD
an
player.
excuse.
He's like, I want to watch a DVD. Please buy a PlayStation 2.
So it came with some pack-in ATV game that I've never once touched in the entirety. I was like, I'm here for two things and two things only. One being DDR.
Was it Smuggler's Run?
No.
Okay.
DDR and Guitar Hero 2.
Oh,
Yeah.
hell yeah.
It was like definitely a toss-up between those two games of what I put on here. But that was, I feel like, the party game and the peripherals era of video games, I feel like was so fun. And like, I just remember summers of like my neighbor Emily coming over and us just playing through every possible track and just not realizing that video games didn't have to include a controller and or like had different forms of controllers. Obviously, like I grew up playing Duck Hunt and stuff like that, so I knew it from that level. But to have something that was like fun and interactive, I feel like that's where like my love of like random like 90s Euro club music comes from, because that's like the entirety of what it is. And then the fact that you could also go and like play in arcades and stuff like that. It was a fun like multi-location kind of realization that games could be different.
I was never the biggest DDR person, but for some reason, our middle school in the gym that we had, like there's a weight room, and they had like a janky. It might have just been like the PS2 like setup for DDR.
Yeah.
And our go-to for my friend Felix and I, we would always, because you'd rotate every station. And so whenever we go to the DDR station, we would always pick Girls Just Want to Have Fun.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, I never.
ATV Off-Road Fury, thank you, MAs.
I never
That's
had-
exactly what it
when
is.
you said ATV, I was like, I see a cover, but I don't know.
Yeah,
if it's
me
that
too.
same
Yeah,
one.
I can do that part.
Yeah.
Yeah, DDR. I reviewed one at IGN and I reviewed it with the D-pad. Like I never actually used it. I just sat there and did that. People were like,
Crazy.
I think I eventually did something, but like I remember
Yeah.
Roper walking by my desk and be like, "What the fuck are you doing?" I'm like, playing. Yeah, that's the guy. That's the guy.
That's ATV.
And then I didn't have an arcade culture or whatever. You know what I mean? So it was one of those. I remember going to Mizzou, and at the student union in the basement, they had a couple arcade machines, and one of them was DDR. And yeah, people would just fucking line up. Yeah.
It's just fun. And like to watch somebody who's really good at DDR is definitely way more fun than playing. It's just like, oh,
exactly.
wow.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
I can hang in my living room. Playing in public, a different beast for sure.
Because everybody's freaking out in the chat. I would have used the pad at some point, but I remember using the controller. It was Dance Dance Revolution X. Reviewed it 2008 at IGN. My subhead, yep, Konami's still making these.
Perfect. Perfect. What do we have next? Fortnite, the game changer. Whoa,
Kevin's running it. Kevin
the show. Yeah, Fortnite was the first shooter I had really ever played or cared about. Obviously, I got pulled into like random stuff, like in high school, but that was like definitely not. That was like I'm kind of being forced, or they need another person, not because I'm like actively wanting to play. But I think it was after, it must have been an E3 at some point, and I remember the Funhouse crew was walking around, and they had gotten all these like free V-Bucks things. They're like, we don't play Fortnite. And I was like, it's like looks real colorful and fun, and look, all these characters look cool.
I'll
I was
try
like,
it out.
I will take them. So took all of the free V-Bucks.
For the timeline, right?
Yeah,
Fortnite came before Destiny 2.
correct.
So is this the seeds, I guess, being planted of you having a
100%.
multiplayer crew and all this stuff?
Yeah, Fortnite, I will give the utmost credit to everybody I played Fortnite with at the beginning. This is even like pre-Kevin. This is like Lauren, this is Harv, this is Eddie. People that played Fortnite with me, when I would get down to constantly, I think over like maybe the first like 6 months that we played, I got a combined like 3 kills.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
I had not figured out 2-stick shooting like at all. And God bless them, because we just had fun. They didn't like, it was a crew of people that were kind of aligned where it's like, we just want to like hang out and play. Like, we don't really care about winning necessarily to a degree, or at least they downplayed it for me. God bless you.
God bless you.
Yeah, that was the first time. Definitely took some time. And then, yeah, by the time Kevin and I started playing, it was like a every night we're playing, we're maxing out the battle pass, like what are all of our day, like all of these things, and just really locked in for it. Plus you have all of the fun cosmetics, all the holiday skins, and then like obviously now they've evolved into like so much more.
Yeah. Do you ever kick tires anymore? Do you come back?
So Lauren texted me like a week ago, was like, new Fortnite's pretty fun.
Stuff.
So I have it downloaded, but I haven't played probably in a year, maybe. I think I've logged in occasionally to like pick up skins and stuff that I want. Haven't gotten the K-pop Demon Hunter ones because I forgot. So I am still missing those, and I still want those. But I feel like that's one that like I could pick up tomorrow and have fun.
Yeah. Remember,
a low barrier to re-entry.
5 days until you get that free Fortnite crew with Xbox Game Pass. Just a heads up.
Whoa.
Is that really a thing?
Yeah.
Worth it.
Huh.
When they upgraded
Kevin's
the price,
really
that
excited
was
about it.
$30 a month for that.
and more dollars though. It's cheaper than getting the February. No, I'm kidding around.
I love it.
What do you got next?
We've got Neopets.
Yeah.
This one, DDR and Carmen Sandiego were the ones that I was like, those are going to be like really hard. I feel like for somebody to try and guess right off the bat.
Yeah.
See, look at these fun animations I added to mine.
Only through Canva.
Only through the power of Canva. This
Not
is an
sponsored, but
ad.
if you're listening, Canva, why not?
Yeah, Neopets was definitely the first like online game I played. I feel like every generation has one. There's the Club Penguins.
Yeah.
There's the
Yep.
Webkins. Like they all kind of exist, but it's the combination of message boardy kind of type interactions. Then you have all of the mini games that are in there, and then there's like the lore pieces too of like the Great Omelet and all of these things that like I still could not really give you probably like a cohesive story of like what Neopets is. But going in and like picking out what kind of like Neopet you wanted, and then the colors and all of these and the accessories and the magical paintbrushes and all of these things, I feel like definitely was another different seed of the sim game category, but just because I had never played like a web-based game versus like something console. I don't even know how else you would categorize it. But yeah, the mini games and stuff like that. I feel like this is the first one too with like where I had to keep track of like scheduling and timers because you could only do things or like access things and stuff like that. So I feel like this is the one that like brought me back to the PC that I had to keep up with more regularly.
This made you the PC gamer you are.
Yes, exactly. All my mouse and keyboard skills came from Neopets for sure.
God, Neopets.
Nitrogen Mustard said Joey had to have played with Tamagotchis as a kid. I was so serious about Tamagotchis. My dad went on a business trip to Japan like right at the very beginning of it and brought one back for me, and it was pink, and I thought I was the coolest person ever. And then my mom was so mad at me because I would make her watch it while I was at school, and she was like, it's not dying on my watch. Like, this is a lot of pressure. So it's a touchy subject in the Takagami household.
I have a feeling that's when Boanna got thrown around a lot.
Probably, definitely. And then we have Animal Crossing New Horizon. New Leaf I had dabbled in. I feel like I had played, but I had missed that like initial
when it was a zeitgeist.
Onboarding. So I played it later and I really liked it. But it was definitely, I mean, Animal Crossing New Horizons is such like an interesting game and time period to talk about of like, we got it right. It was the review was one of the last things recorded before COVID. And then we were at home all the time. Everybody was excited and getting their Switches. And even if you weren't excited for Animal Crossing, I feel like because we were all quarantined for the most part.
It was the social hub for like such a long time that year in particular.
Like it was
how you hung out with your friends.
The thing and the way that people used it so creatively, obviously like Gary Whitta with Animal Talking and all of these different things. I feel like it just became such like a core memory. I still think to this day, like it's the most amount of video game I've played in like the shortest amount of time because I played for solidly 6 months. I remember like
outrageous.
I think I played a little bit. I played some of the holiday stuff after, but I think I got so burnt out because I played like 800 or almost 900 hours in those 6 months. So I was playing this like it was my full-time job. And so I think I burnt myself out on it, but I've gone back to it. Like obviously this year we streamed with Gia and kind of got her on the train and stuff like that.
Are you stoked about the January 15th update?
Yes and no. I guess we'll see when we get there how into it, I'm feeling.
What's the added content besides like, oh, it looks better on Switch 2?
I got
they're doing a
hotel.
bunch of stuff. Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
there's a hotel now over on the dock that you can go in, and they're gonna have you make, you design the hotel rooms on themes or whatever. Then there's gonna be dream islands. So rather than you can't make a new island because it's your island, you have to delete your thing. Now you can go to this dream space and make islands again there. So go through and like, now I want to make a city one. Now I want to do whatever you want to do. You know what I mean? Build it up that way. And there's a bunch of bells. There's Zelda outfits and stuff now with amiibos and whatnot. Like,
Yeah.
I
They opened up multiplayer, right, to be more people.
yeah, I mean, but multiplayer
it's gonna take
sucks.
you
Yeah,
so
that's how long it
long.
was. I'll worry about that.
No, not a Nintendo game.
I have like this, like I have a little flame
Mm-hmm.
where I'm like, ooh, I could go for more Animal Crossing, and I keep thinking, I'm like, don't turn it on until that day.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Let's turn it on there. Let's go in. Let's see if we're actually gonna redo our island. Make our island.
Let like the year restart your kind of palette as well.
Yeah.
So that's the Animal Crossing thing. The New Leaf coaster is just that Cool Greg saw it in like some video game store and he bought it for me.
That's awesome.
He was like, I know you like Animal Crossing. So I love it. And like New Leaf is the other one that I've put hours into. I haven't played any of the other ones. Diablo 3.
Hell yeah.
You were close on here. I feel like Diablo 3.
I just couldn't remember.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
yeah.
Did you come to Diablo with like Reaper of Souls when it was like PC, or I'm gonna jump to console? And then
No. So
You were
really,
PC in this?
probably what I should have put
Nice.
on here that I didn't is Minecraft Dungeons.
Oh,
in this
remember that?
slot.
We had so much fun with
We had
Minecraft
so much fun.
Dungeons.
But I feel like they're very similar. And I think Minecraft Dungeons definitely put me onto Diablo. And then that's kind of where I really was like, oh, this is a genre that I've never played.
Yeah.
That I really like. But just like dungeon crawling and this I feel like this was fundamental in helping me understand Destiny of like classes and abilities.
Yeah.
Too. And then, I am blessed with a lot of really good friends in my life that play a lot of games. God bless you, Lauren, for walking me through this entire game because she had like platinumed and played every class and like maxed out everything.
Yeah.
So I feel like I had like a really good experience because I think otherwise some of these games you walk into and you're like,
If you don't have a good guide for it,
if I've
need a
never
Sherpa.
played this
You need a
before,
Sherpa.
I need help. So yeah, Diablo, and like obviously one that I wouldn't have necessarily gravitated to as I was like showing the girls my thing. They're like, it's so funny that your entire thing is like so bright and colorful, and then you have Diablo and Destiny
Yeah. Hell yeah.
as like these anchors on the side. So clearly it's the fun and sparkle and the colors that really drag me in. But if you have good gameplay, then like
That's what
I'm
I love about
also
you,
in.
Joey. Demon Hacker in the chat goes, Joey is the casual gamer representative for Kinda Funny. All companies need them. I don't agree. I mean, yes and no. Like, again, Joey didn't dabble in Diablo or dabble in Destiny. Like, Joey was all in Minecraft. Again, these are talking about, I define this as the games that make up your gamer DNA. But you get into all sorts of stuff that are like real games, like whatever.
I kind of get what they're saying though, because like
Totally.
there's so
I don't
many
mean- I don't
casual
think you mean-
gamers
they
we
meant it as an
know that
insult.
like
Yeah.
they have those couple where they fucking dive into.
Yeah.
Right? Like Alyssa
Yeah.
has hundreds of hours in StarCraft 2, which was
Yeah.
like something I didn't
So
learn until
funny.
like a couple of years into dating her. I was like, oh, I
Yeah.
didn't realize that.
And then your final one.
And my final one, Stardew Valley. This was like the first one when I came back to gaming. Like
This is for me. This is always your precursor to Animal Crossing.
Yeah.
Like, where I was
100%.
like, oh, she's gonna eat up a new Animal Crossing.
Yeah. It was just like the indie darling. I think I don't even know why I picked it up. It must have just been that like people were talking about it, and I had known from Neopets, from Viva Pinata that like I was probably gonna like this. But this was definitely the most intense version I had ever played of a sim game, with like the time management, and then you have dungeon crawling versus fire. Like it just had so many things. Still to this day, I've never done any of the relationship stuff in there. In my hierarchy of activities in a sim game, I'm always just like, I don't necessarily care about these people. Like let me
Make
loosen
my
some
farm.
mines. Let me design my farm.
Joey
Let
yearns
me
for the
do all
mines.
this. I do. I truly do. And yeah, it's the one that like I think I've bought the most. I've bought it on like every single console, every platform. I have it on everything. I have so many different farms. That like just depending on like the vibe that I want, I kind of do different things. So I feel like that's the one that like all of these obviously are like, well, actually I don't necessarily think that, but that's definitely like a desert island game. Like,
Oh, yeah,
and
yeah.
there's
Leaves you
so
with that.
much end game stuff that I've never touched. Like
And they've added like even more farm styles and stuff, right?
it's crazy to me that it's like developed by such a small team. I think
That's
now
working on another game now too.
exactly, yeah. Like Concerned Ape has really supported this for a lot longer than I think anybody expected.
Yeah.
And I know that there's a lot of depth to it that I have not reached, and probably never will. Probably. To go
Unless you
back
get
and
to
like
that desert
3D
island.
this. I guess so.
Once you
Yeah.
crappy on a desert island.
A desert island where I happen to have like my Switch and a charger and power.
Yeah, problem.
But yeah, that's
a
the
great
set.
list, Joey.
Thank you.
Goodness.
In the super chats, memo in the notebook says, "Hell yes, Joey, with the Neopets on there. 6 fuck, lol." A great list there, Joey. Thank you for doing that and sharing that
It
with
was so
us.
fun.
I mean, I'm always happy to have you on Gamescast, have you on the streams. You're doing a
Yeah.
great job, bud.
I have fun.
Yeah. Everybody, we have fun here because of your support. Of course, pick up a Kind of Funny membership, Patreon, YouTube, Apple, or Spotify to keep the lights and mics on. You get all of our shows ad-free, but right now you're not using your benefits. So here's a word from our sponsors.
This episode's brought to you by Aura Frames. Aura Frames are the one gift that never get old. It's the perfect gift to bring your loved ones closer and share memories every single day. No lie, Aura Frames are undeniably the best gift I have ever given. Families, friends, partners, everyone loves being able to have beautiful frames showing off their loved ones and all of their favorite memories. Aura frames are incredibly smart and easy to use, allowing you to upload unlimited photos and videos directly from your phone to the frame. Plus, you can order the frame online and preload it with photos and videos using the Aura app, so it's all ready to go right out of the box when you gift it to somebody. Named #1 by Wirecutter, you can save on the perfect gift by visiting auraframes.com. For a limited time, listeners can get $20 off their best-selling Carver matte frame with the code AURA20. That's AURA frames.com, promo code AURA20. Support the show by mentioning us at checkout. Terms and conditions apply. This episode is brought to you by Shady Rays. Let's talk gifts. Not the kind that get tossed in a drawer, but the kind that actually get used and appreciated. The holidays are coming up fast, and Shady Rays sunglasses are an easy win. You don't even need to think about it. I'm doing the work for you. Every pair is polarized, durable, and lightweight. They've got a ton of great-looking, high-performance styles that hold up no matter what you throw at them. And the price? Way less than you would expect for the quality. And here's what sets them apart. If you lose or break your shades, Shady Rays has your back with their lost and broken protection. No hassle, just a solid guarantee. So whether you're picking up a pair for someone on your list or grabbing one for yourself, Shady Rays makes gifting simple. Quality built, looks great, and actually worth it. Start your holiday gifting early and head to shadyrays.com and use code FUNNY for 35% off polarized sunglasses. Try for yourself the shades rated 5 stars by over 300,000 people. Shadyrays.com, use code FUNNY.
And we're back, everyone. Thank you for sticking with us. It's time for Barrett's. And I don't want to waste a lot of time guessing, because I know Barrett's going to be both predictable and unpredictable. All right? So like on my list, I had Bully. I had Batman Arkham Asylum. I had Persona 5. And then I put Donkey Kong 64.
Yeah.
But I'm not, it's like I don't.
Where's the meme start and end?
Where's the truth end and the meme begin? You know what I mean?
I feel like there's definitely maybe Assassin's Creed representation.
Exactly. Some kind of skate thing. Even whether it's skate or Tony Hawk, I'm not even sure. I feel like there'd be something there, maybe.
Okay.
But I'm ready to see this.
All right.
Throw it
Pull it
up.
up. Pull it up.
SpongeBob! I talked myself out of SpongeBob, and I meant to say fucking Psychonauts. So I would have lost out because of your list here, Grim Fandango. Barrett, real quick for the audio listeners, tell them what's on the list. Cuphead.
Yeah, so in no particular order, we've got Batman Arkham Asylum, Grim Fandango, SpongeBob SquarePants Battle for Bikini Bottom, Bully, Cuphead, Donkey Kong 64, Chrono Trigger, The Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, and Persona 5
Hell
Royal.
yeah. This is a list of games, Barrett.
So,
Where do you want to start? Where do you dive in?
I think we have to dive in at the beginning, which would be not that one.
Kevin will tell you where to dive in.
Chrono Trigger.
Nice.
This was a shout out to Brian and Jennifer, who were the younger siblings of my dad's girlfriend at the time. And my dad and his girlfriend at the time were both like waiters in the restaurant business, so they were busy a lot of the time. So I would hang out with her younger siblings who introduced me to a lot of things very early on in life. They're the reasons why I watched Akira at 5 years old.
Okay. Maybe a bit
Interesting
too early.
timing.
Yeah, exactly. But also like Spirited Away and introduced me to, we'll talk about it in a little bit as well, but also Legend of Zelda. And Brian was particularly into JRPGs. And so it was kind of between Chrono Trigger and Final Fantasy X because those were both experiences that he shared with me and like we would play through together. And, that was one that was like the first inklings of me getting into our like turn-based RPGs, but it was really the stories that grabbed me from both of those, unless so the gameplay being that young, right? But I remember the story for Chrono Trigger like really stuck with me, and it was one of those, a game that I was debating on having here that I ended up not having on here was Red Dead Redemption, in a similar fashion of like where Red Dead goes in terms of storytelling and how it does some like really fascinating things in terms of character perspective and changing perspectives. That was an early one for me for Chrono Trigger and where that story goes. And then also like that was an early one for me of like having like actual animated cutscenes that were, it was all like the I'm blanking on his name, the artist who does like Dragon Ball and Sandland and stuff like that. Why am I blanking on his name right now?
Google for you, but I'm not gonna be able to.
But like that was that like seeing that art style and like that being something like I didn't really connect of like, oh, this looks, and this looks like Dragon Ball, but it was one of those like everybody else I knew was like into that kind of stuff. So there's a little bit of like anime kind of like inspiration bringing me in there as well. And so that was one that like I really adored because it kind of at a very young age kind of showed me what stories could be in video games alongside Final Fantasy X. Like like some of the like the cutscene after you face the main antagonist in Final Fantasy X will kind of be seared into my brain forever. And same with a very pivotal moment with Chrono in Chrono Trigger. So that's a very early one. And in the similar vein, The Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past. That was I knew a Zelda had to be on here, but it was like, I love all of the future ones, but like A Link to the Past was very much the beginning of this obsession with this series for me. More so than Ocarina of Time. Like, Ocarina of Time early on was, playing around in the jungle gym areas and staying as like Kid Link, but A Link to the Past was very much of being obsessed with actually progressing to get to the Dark World and going on this like big adventure that design-wise as a kid, like you feel like you're going out on this like big adventure, making your own decisions, but it's smartly guiding you through this thing that makes it feel like your own. And with both of those games too, that like really cemented my love for like pixel art. Whenever we get to see that stuff like live today and like the HD 2D kind of stuff, like
kind of stuff,
like, and that's why it's like bring Chrono Trigger back,
Another one shocking that they haven't done more with that.
Yeah. Link to the Past is insane, says Dionysus. I disagree. Link to the Past, every Zelda game after Link to the Past is just trying to do Link to the Past again. Ocarina of Time, just a 3D.
Well, I think you meant it positively.
Oh,
Link to the Past is insane. So is Chrono Trigger. Love this list. Yay. Like it's a great game.
Dionysus, I'll fucking fight that.
What did you think? Just as an aside, for me, A Link to the Past, I'd played and didn't appreciate when I had my clamshell GBA. Because I was such an Ocarina Majora fan. That's where I entered it. But stick with me. This isn't even the question.
Yeah.
I need to go back and replay it probably. But what did you think of Link Between Worlds? Because I really loved that, but I didn't have the love for Past.
I adored Link Between Worlds when it came out. And then when I revisited it for Zelda in Review, I was a little bit cooler on it. But I think the design of Link Between Worlds in terms of, I think that is the kind of first big stepping stone for us to get to Breath of the Wild and going back to kind of the design ethos of the original Legend of Zelda of choosing whichever dungeon you want in whatever order. Once you get to that, like after you get past those like first 3 dungeons and then it really opens up. Like I thought that was a really smart way to make that style feel fresh, and obviously like the art style I really adored for the 3DS. But yeah, Link to the Past, like that is one that's just like I love that world. I love that story. Like I also still own the Link to the Past comic, which to me is like, in my brain, even though Link doesn't have a personality, has no voice, like that Link is like what I think of when I think of Link. Like a true like
canon.
Kind of like Luke Skywalker interpretation of Link, where it's like this kind of apprehensive hero type of situation.
Okay, sorry, I didn't mean to sidetrack you.
Yeah, and so to go from there, honestly, I think we got to go Grim Fandango next. And this is another like big important story and world situation that like really brought me into like appreciating fun and goofy stories and art styles, right? This pulled me in because of the almost like Nickelodeon Cartoon Network vibes that it had. And obviously having no idea who it was made by, not knowing the history of the point-and-click adventure games and how insane they get with their puzzles. Like, this is one as a kid I definitely... If I ever finish it, I don't have a clear memory as, like, a kid. Like, I definitely went back when it got remastered, and it really cemented, like, going back as, like, one of my favorite games of all time. But if I ever finish it, it must have been with Brian or Jennifer, and they're helping me with, like, some of the puzzles. And probably on my own, I'm stuck in that like first level, which is the what is it, like the Day of the Dead kind of celebration. But there's just like such a great vibe and like writing style that always pulled me in, even as a kid, of just like some of the just like nonchalant humor, and then like the music as well, just like so cool, and just like paying homage to like the what's that, like those kind of like 1930s like style or like 40s like movies and
noir-y.
Like noir type of vibes, and just like how creative and weird they got with like all of their stuff, which is why it, like being a kid who grew up with Nickelodeon Cartoon Network in like the 90s and 2000s, that's another aspect of what really pulled me in. And then it's funny, like not knowing that this was Tim Schafer directed and led and all this stuff, and then years and years later falling in love with Psychonauts and Psychonauts.
That's a cool.
2.
I like that connection. I like that DNA.
And that was one where the first time I met Tim Schafer, I was working at IGN, and we were doing we did a series where Alana would interview directors of games while they would play the game and talk about level design and inspirations and all that stuff. And I remember we had like Bruce Straley in to play a little bit of Last of Us 1, and then Tim Schafer came in for Psychonauts. And this was before I was even into Psychonauts, but at that point I had learned like, oh, this is the guy who made Grim Fandango. So I was outside afterwards, and he was waiting for his Uber. I think I was coming back from like lunch or something like that. And I got to say like, hey, I'm big fan of Grim Fandango. Thank you so much for making that game. It's like, oh, cool, man. See you later. And I
now
still
we can call him whenever we want.
And I still get chills whenever I see him, because I've met him a couple of times since then. I remember being very nervous to ask him to sign my Psychonauts 2 art book like a year or two ago, whenever he was last in office. So then we go from there to Donkey Kong 64.
Of course.
That's a memory seared into my brain, similar to the Pokemon Snap.
Expansion pack included.
Oh, that was a big deal, Joe.
Similar to the Pokemon Go having the blue N64 with the Pokeball. Memory seared into my brain was getting the see-through translucent green N64 with this game for Christmas.
Bring back translucent technology.
We need
100%.
And this is a game that, like my dad also like loves Nintendo games. This is one that we still like go back to and talk about all the time. And I gave him, like, he has my old Wii U, because that's like the one way you can just play Donkey Kong 64 now. We just love like that world and the vibes that I know technically probably Banjo is probably the better games or whatever. But this is what we had, and
we're talking about your DNA.
Your
what
DNA, and
Barrett?
like this was my Grant Kirkhope soundtrack, right? Like these were our characters, like the worlds that you went into for all of these levels, and the goofy enemies that you would fight. Like that was a special shared love between my dad and I that we still share to this day. And we talk about, how great the blueprint design is, where you have to find all these blueprints for the final level. The more blueprints you have, Joey, the longer time you get to beat the final level. The less blueprints, you have like only 10 minutes to beat that like final level before the final boss. And then the final boss being this boxing match with King K. Rool, which, you know, might have been paid homage to in a recent game, right? And so, yeah, I love that group of characters. It is a meme, but it is also very much like a shared love of recognizing not the best designed game, but I truly adore it. Then skipping ahead, you know, I was always kind of like, I felt like behind on stuff. And I think the PS2 generation, because like I had a Super Nintendo while the N64 was popping off. I don't think I got that Donkey Kong 64, N64 until the GameCube had already been out for like a year or so, right? And so the PS2 was the first generation where I was actually like playing stuff as it was coming out. And so I had SpongeBob SquarePants Battle for Bikini Bottom kind of be my big representation for not just IP games, but like just things I was into, like your Star Wars Battlefront 2, but also kind of your Tony Hawk's. Like this was an era of me as a gamer where I wasn't playing video games because I liked video games. I was playing stuff that like, oh, I like this show.
I like this IP.
Oh, we skateboard all the time in our neighborhood. And now there's like a skateboarding game where we can do a bunch of insane tricks and stuff. And so that's another one where that's like kind of all encompassing of an era for me, but also I think cemented of like after your DK64, cementing of like my love of 3D platformers, which has like grown and grown and grown ever since then. And going back to Battle for Bikini Bottom once it got its remake back in like 2020 of just like, yeah, man, I love this. I love exploring Bikini Bottom, you know, having that kind of interconnected hub world. Yeah, and going to all of these iconic locations. Like, yeah, I truly adore that. So that's kind of that big representation there. And then Bully is, you know, like that's my Rockstar game. I'm not into a lot of Rockstar games, honestly, but like, especially like growing up with like being a huge Harry Potter head as like a kid, you always wanted that experience of like being able to play a game where like you have like the full school experience, right? And
boarding
like,
school had like such like a allure to it. Where I'm like, probably wasn't that great, but.
You romanticize it for
sure.
Yeah, oh, 100%.
So much fiction did,
Yeah, and like that just like, and that's one that I've appreciated more like growing up. It's just like it making fun of like all of these different groups of like the greasers kind of making fun of like that era of like movies and like kind of making fun of different eras of like high school centric movies and tropes and that just kind of being like this fully lived in sim experience where it's like adding in the school stuff. And you deciding like, well, I'm not going to go back to the dorms. I'm going to go live in my like weird little hideout that I unlocked by beating up all the preps and all that stuff. Like there's just something to that element, and it being like more of a small town vibe, I think is something that was way more appealing to me than any like other like Grand Theft Auto or what have you at the time growing up. And then I think our last three here, right? We'll go to Batman Arkham Asylum, which I've talked about in my
back.
It was, you know, like for a couple of years after, you know, you get your Bully, which shout out, I named the dog that we got when I was in high school after the character Zoe, and that's where she got her name was that character from Bully. But anyways, for Arkham Asylum, that was the game that really got me back into thinking about video games and playing video games for video game's sake and less IP sake. I got it because I was into the IP, being a huge Batman fan. But this was a time in my life where I was only really playing Rock Band every once in a while, maybe a skate, but I had like so many other different interests that were pulling me away. And Arkham Asylum was one of those first like experiencing a Metroidvania and really like understanding of like, oh, like game design and how smart and fun that can be. Like being trapped on this island and getting this slow unveiling of how you can unlock all these different paths. And then it just being a really fun Batman adventure with a really bad final boss fight.
Never forget. Never let him off the hook.
Yeah, but like, dude, like the first time doing that Scarecrow, that first Scarecrow's sequence was so good.
So good.
You know, hearing Mark Hamill and Kevin Conroy come back was just like a dream come true. You know, like related to that first Scarecrow sequence where Joker's teasing Scarecrow being around the corner, and he's like, "What are your greatest fears, Batman? Like, you not catching me in time, Gotham City falling to pieces, me in a thong." And it was just like, God, the writing here, and the chemistry that Hamill had with Conroy, it was just magnificent, and I love that they were able to go all out with that, while at the same time me starting to realize of like, oh, video games are really fucking cool.
Yeah.
And then our final two really, or no, actually we got three more.
Yeah.
Mario Kart 8. Mario Kart's always been a part of my life. 8 is the one that I've put the most amount of time into, and probably is my most played game.
What did
Ever?
this say? What do you know? What number?
I mean, it was that weird thing when we moved
you
over to
lost
Switch
it.
2.
Yeah,
we
yeah.
lost all that, so I would guess in the 500 to 600 hours around there.
Fair enough.
Battlefront, the original Battlefront 2 is probably up there as well, but that is one that I love the velocity of it. You know, like how it really feels like this a bit more Grand Prix and I don't know, like one of those like more professional like kind of things.
The races are
Terms of,
races, and there's this idea. Yeah.
than World was, right? And
I know exactly
I
what
think
you're talking
World coming out making me appreciate 8 more of what 8 was offering.
Yeah.
And that is one that just like that's been my comfort game for years and years and years. Where it's like we have something on the TV, I'm just gonna mindlessly play this and go and try to 3-star 200 cc for the 100th time and all that stuff. So. Haven't gone back to it since World came out. Haven't been in the mood to get back into it, but that'll be one that I go back to just to reminisce.
Love that.
Yeah.
And then we've got Cuphead. I think Cuphead is the first seed of me getting into really tough games.
I was gonna say like that that punishment, right? That
I was
Souls,
assigned
whatever.
Cuphead for IGN of doing capture for. And there's that viral clip of that from that one site of someone trying to do the tutorial of Cuphead.
Dean Takahashi from GamesBeat.
Yeah.
Is that who it is?
And there was a lot of pressure put on me of like,
Don't be that guy.
your gameplay has to be really fucking good. And so like
That's so much pressure.
I know. And so me not playing difficult games like this before, I really had to lock in. And Cuphead was a game that I was anticipating for years just because of the art style. And them bringing something that felt so new and fresh for a video game. And so that was one that I really had to. That was my first like, I got to get good at this kind of game. Where now I'm playing Elden Rings and Sekiro.
Seems like a
like that.
perfect crossover between those kinds of games and the platformers that you love.
Yeah, exactly. And so like the platforming stuff and like the cartoony stuff, I was really already into. But getting into that kind of different style, it being a bit more bullet helly. But that was one where. I think I was one of the first people to unlock the black and white mode for that game, and like trying to figure out like how do you even unlock that, and like all of the difficult like hoops that you had to jump through to do that. Like that'll be a special place in time, and I still apologize to Andy to this day of like I had to bring that Xbox home from the office to play through the weekend to try to beat every platforming level without killing anybody, which is just like the most, I think still probably the most difficult thing I've done to this game, day in a game.
So wait, why'd you apologize to Andy for? Were you screaming?
I was screaming a lot that week. There were a lot of F-bombs that week. So a big apology
Andy's
to Andy.
virgin
and
ears.
Alyssa.
No.
I know.
Andy, someone who never screams playing video games.
And then around that same time, Persona 5, I have the Royal version on here. Just because that added story content that I think like solidifies that as like one of my favorite games of all time. But that being a world and story that I adore to this day, and characters that I think of as not actual longtime friends, but when I think about their journey and their character arcs, it's just it's one of those like, damn, it feels like home.
Comforting for sure.
Yeah, and the stuff that Royal added in particular, like the things I was disappointed in the base game being stuff like Akechi and all that, like Royal really cemented and brought through and solidified kind of the core themes and ideas and flipped them on its head in a way that like really cemented as like one of my favorite stories in video games. And 3 is still my favorite, but 5 is the one that got me into this series and brought me to this trajectory of not just being into this world, but being more open to trying other games like this. So that's what I got.
Yeah.
That's a great Barrett list.
A
I feel like you
fantastic
can
list.
definitely see all those tendrils
Yeah.
in like the other games that you gravitate towards and stuff and talk about.
Memo in the notebooks did super chat and said, "Holy fuck, Barrett, you picked gold. BFBB." He liked
Good.
it. He liked
Go to 3D platformer.
Yeah, there you go. Ladies, gentlemen, and NBs, we're going to stop the show there. That's right. Cool Greg's list is not being revealed today. We are going to save it. I have penciled in, and you know how the schedule goes around here. Right now, Tuesday, November 25th, our final one before Thanksgiving, I put the 10 games that define Kind of Funny, and we could do Cool Greg there as well.
I like
and
that.
then also we go through with you and pick the games that define us as a company, everybody, because there's too much to do today. You got to do the Running Man interview. You got to do the stream. It's going to be a lot of fun, and I'm not going to sneeze no matter what, all right?
Greg.
Don't give in.
If you didn't know, this has been the Kind of Funny Gamescast each and every weekday. 4, sometimes 5 best friends gather on this table, coming to talk about the biggest topics in video games, whether they be reviews, previews, or just things we need to talk about. We cover it all on youtube.com/kindoffunnygames, twitch.tv/kindoffunnygames, podcast services around the globe. If you like us, pick up the membership. Patreon, YouTube, Apple, Spotify. You give us $10. We give you 80 episodes a month of ad-free content. Your daily dose of me, Greg Miller, in a 15 to 25-minute podcast series. And, of course, you get good karma for supporting us. The programming day is far from over. Like I said, in review, a sponsored stream. There's so much more, so don't go anywhere. But if you do, until next time, it's been our pleasure to serve you.